If you haven't visited the National Aviary on Pittsburgh's North Side recently, be prepared to enter the natural rainforest in an up-close and personal way. This month, the National Aviary marked the completion of a $1.2 million in renovations to this amazing facility. That includes a new large dome, a 15-foot waterfall where the birds can play and bathe, and all kinds of tropical trees and plants, and 80 birds, including Mac, the military macaw. We're celebrating the new addition to the National Aviary this morning with Mac, his handler, Kathy Schlott, the National Aviary Curator of Behavioral Management and Education, and Cheryl Tracy, the Executive Director of the National Aviary. Well, welcome to all three of you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on this great accomplishment. Cheryl, it seems to me, it's been a little bit since I've been over at the National Aviary, and this is really enticing me to make a trip over. A natural rainforest right in the middle of Pittsburgh. What's that all about?
That's right. So the tropical rainforest is the oldest building at the National Aviary. So that's actually the original aviary from 1952. And this is its first renovation. So we are really pleased to be able to renovate that building. Everything we did was all about the birds, like Mac here for Mac, to kind of mimic the natural rainforest and allow the birds to just be natural and have nesting behaviors and other natural behaviors.
Well, thank you so much for bringing Mac over. And Kathy, let me ask you, Mac is a macaw, which is a what, a kind of parrot?
Yes, macaws are types of parrots. They're large types of parrots, but there are macaws that are even larger than Mac.
Mac looks pretty big. How old is Mac?
Mac is actually 25 years. And the larger the macaw, the longer the lifespan. So a macaw the size of Mac can live to be around 60, 70 years old.
You're kidding. That's like a human being.
That is true.
So Mac can expect to have 50 good more years?
Definitely.
Really? And of course, I bet life is good at the National Aviary. Tell us about how this rainforest, this tropical rainforest, how does it help birds like Mac?
Well, the whole project began with the fact that the glass was 66 years old and was in need of desperate replacement. So we replaced 3,146 panes of glass with bird-friendly glass. And what that means is that birds do not look at that glass and see a reflection and think they can fly through it. It was specially made. We worked with experts from Vitro Architectural Glass, which is the former PPG glass division, and they helped us select a bird-friendly glass that has a special etching that allows birds from the inside to not collide with it, as well as birds from the outside. And the glass also allows UV light to come in for the health of the plants and the birds like Mac here.
You know, I'm looking at this bird making faces at you, Kathy, or at least, I mean, it's a little hard for me to understand exactly how birds like, oh, look at that. You gave a signal and he lifts his claw?
His foot.
His foot. I mean, I see he uses that foot too, sometimes bringing it up to his beak.
That's true. They have zygodactyl toes. And
I don't know what that means. Zygodactyl?
That means they have 2 toes in the front and 2 toes in the back. And they can use their feet kind of like a hand to be able to hold on to objects. So if he was eating something large, say like this peanut, he can put his foot up and hold on to that peanut to be able to eat it easier.
Isn't that great? Look at that. Now, what do macaws eat?
Macaws eat a variety of fruits and vegetables, seeds, and nuts. And then we have a very healthy pelleted diet also that is nutritionally complete that we give Mac every day, in addition to the fresh fruits and veggies.
Now, will this parrot talk? Do you hear from him?
He knows how to say hello, but he never talks with his mouth full. He's very polite. So when he's done eating, I can ask him to do it.
All right, well, you tell us when you're ready to do that.
Okay.
Tell us about the other birds, because there's so many birds at the National Aviary, right, Cheryl?
There are so many birds. We have over 500 birds representing about 150 different species. In the tropical rainforest, we have about 80 birds representing species from all over the world.
And do they fly free and they operate free?
They absolutely do fly freely, and a lot of our birds in there are endangered or they're threatened. We even have some birds that live in that room that are extinct in the wild, and they actually help to reproduce and help their species to survive right there in the tropical rainforest. They make their nests in their homes and they raise their chicks in the rainforest.
So when you as an individual or a family, you bring your kids or grandkids into the National Aviary, are you at risk when you're in there with the birds?
At risk for maybe standing in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah, a dropping or two.
Yes, but that's a very, very low risk, and we have special gifts that we give our guests if that does happen.
So I gotta believe that the National Aviary is one of our big attractions here in Pittsburgh. Will this rainforest add to that? Do you have any sense of what that means in terms of your overall visitation?
Yes, anytime we do a new renovation, it adds to our overall attendance. But we feel that this renovation, because of that room is the room that most people think of when they visited the aviary as a kid, they had a field trip, they remember that room, it's nostalgic. And so to be able to restore it, to keep it in pretty much the same state, but just renovate it and restore the original beautiful National Aviary is really, we really look at that as a treasure. And we think people are going to think the same.
That's great. Well, I'm wondering, Kathy, do you think we can make a stab at getting this macaw to speak?
Say hello. Hello? Hello. Good job.
Good job. We all heard that. At least I did. Hello. Hello. That's wonderful. Parrots are great birds, and I'm sure the kids are really attracted to them. Do you do different kinds of displays at the aviary so that folks can sort of up close and personal learn a little more?
We do. In fact, that's what we are all about, getting up close and personal with the birds. Every half hour at the National Aviary, there's a program where you can feed the birds, where you can be involved in one of the free flight shows that we have, and really get up close, have special encounters with the birds, and even some mammals too. We have a couple of mammals, as you know. We have a few sloths at the aviary. In fact, one of them lives in the tropical rainforest now.
I think some of us can relate to sloths. But this is awesome. Thank you, ladies, so much for bringing in Mac, the military macaw. I suppose there's some non-military macaws out there too. It's great to have you on the show. Thanks for coming in and sharing with us. And I'll tell you, I'm really looking forward to getting over to the aviary. I hope you are as well. Thank you again. We'll be back with more of the Sunday Business Page in just a few moments. Stick with us.